If you're in sales, there's a chance that Claude is already part of your workflow. Maybe you're using it inside of HubSpot to help you summarize a deal. Maybe it's pulling call notes out of Gong, drafting follow-up emails, or helping you prep for a discovery call. Claude has become that layer that sits on top of your sales stack and just makes everything faster. But here's the gap that nobody's talking about. Claude knows your CRM data. It knows your call recordings. It knows everything that you fed it. What it doesn't know is your network. It can't tell you that someone on your team used to work with your target buyer. It can't tell you that your investor has a connection to the VP of sales that you've been trying to reach for 3 months. And it doesn't know the strength of any relationship in your orbit. In a world where AI has made it easier than ever to send more messages to more people, the ones that are winning are not sending more. They're the ones sending less, but through the right relationships. Today, I'm going to show you how to connect your Claude to Swarm so it actually knows your network. I'll walk you through the full workflow from finding warm paths into target accounts, comparing them and choosing the right one, and writing an intro request that works for everyone involved. I put together free prompts that you can download. The link is down in the description. It covers the exact prompts that I use to get the most out of this integration so that you don't have to figure it out from scratch. Let's get into it.
Oh, you actually thought I was going to get into it. Well, before I show this actually in action, I wanted to make a couple notes. It's super easy to assume that you need this whole built-out network just to use this tool, but actually, once you connect it, we'll be able to see your shared work history and education history. That's on by default for every account. There's zero setup for that. So if you've never touched a connector or an integration in your life, you can ask Claude and get real answers back. What requires more setup is that deeper layer, so that's going to be LinkedIn connections, email, calendar, contacts, all that. There's more setup, but there's more coverage, more intro paths, but it is an additive on top of what you already get for free.
So now I'm opening a new chat, and if I click the plus here and I check my connectors, I can see that the Swarm is already marked as on, so that's all I really need. And as a side note, if ChatGPT is your preferred AI tool, then you can also do this there. The setup is slightly different because you'll need to enable developer mode first, but the Swarm integration works there as well. So I'm going to walk through a scenario in which I'm looking for a warm intro. I have a target account I want to get into. I'm trying to reach Jared Robinson at RevGenius. The old move would be to go find their email and use some cold outreach, but what we're going to do instead is find every warm path that exists between my team's network and this person before I write a single word of outreach. So I'm going to go ahead and type into Claude, use the Swarm to give me the professional profile of, let me grab his LinkedIn. All right, so Claude has found the tools, doing some profile search mapping. So Jared Robin, he lives in New York. He has over 50,000 followers. He's currently the co-founder and CEO of RevGenius. It's a 55,000 member community. He's based around audience-led growth, which, you know, at the Swarm, we love that. He's on 12 advisory boards. Let's see. He went to Penn State, talks about community building, which is great on Go Network front. Claude says, given his current focus, this looks like a solid figure for RevGenius's community GTM angle if you're mapping out contacts relevant to the Swarm's own YouTube content strategy work. Let me just check if anyone on your team already has a connection to him. All this information really just matters because the more information I have on someone's background, the more angles I have to find a genuine connection. Former employees or school shared investor, these are all my potential paths in. That's everything I'm seeing here. You can also get creative with your prompt asks, like saying, find intros to C-level executives at Stripe, or I'm flying to New York City next week. Any intros to investors there? So now I'm going to try and find my strongest connectors. So I'm going to write this prompt, use this form to find the strongest connectors. I'm using this longer prompt here so I get as much information as I want and I get the strongest connection option. Okay, so here is my full connector map to Jared Robin. I have Scott Leese, Leslie Vanetz, Amir Ryder, Will Taylor, Arthur Castillo. I know all of these people quite well. I would probably feel most comfortable just based on my own knowledge of asking someone like Leslie Vanetz, who I've directly worked with on projects. Will Taylor and I have also had in real life conversations, so I would also feel comfortable asking him. But I'm just looking through here. We can see we have our strong connections up there. Those are people that are very close to Jared, would be very good connectors for myself. I'm looking through here. At the same time, they could be strong connections to Jared, but they don't feel fully comfortable for me. They don't feel like the strongest path for me to ask for help. Scrolling down, Amelia Taylor I also know quite well. Not sure who some of these people are. personally. But I'm looking down here and this says weak connections, and I just want to double check that. So David Connor, CEO of Swarm, Olivia Roth, growth at the Swarm. I even have a kind of connection to him because of LinkedIn connections. But it's looking like Scott Leese and Leslie Vanetz are probably my strongest paths. So I need to choose the path, and I'm in between Scott Leese and Leslie Vanetz. Something I want to note here is not all warm paths are created equal. Just because someone has a strong connection to my target account doesn't necessarily make them the right person to ask them for an intro or anything. I know that Scott Leese and I have not had any in-person conversations before, so it might be kind of awkward if I went to him requesting help. Leslie Vanetz and I, we know each other, we've had conversations before. I feel more comfortable going to her and asking for a favor just because we have that rapport built already. Some other things that we want to note and compare is how recent was this connection to Jared between Scott and Leslie? Was it someone that they worked with just last year, a few years ago, a decade ago? What was the nature of the relationship? Like, a shared investor is different from people who worked on the daily together on the same marketing team. Who on my team has the most credibility to make this ask, and does it feel natural to them? Or is this person already in a sales conversation with your team? Because I don't want to double tap people and ask for too much. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Leslie Vanetz. She has worked most recently with Jared. I feel comfortable speaking to her about this, and I think overall it'll be a mutually beneficial interaction here. Now, contrary to popular belief, I'm not going to ask Claude to write the intro request for me, and I'm going to explain why. A warm intro only works if it feels warm. The second that connector gets a copy and paste message, that trust already starts eroding before the relationship has even started. Claude doesn't know the nuances of your relationship. You do. What I will do is I'm going to ask Claude to surface some signals that I should use, and then I'm going to write the intro request myself. I'm going to take this based on the connection between... Okay, so they both have been advisors at Reggie AI for about 45 months, both listed as still active, so it's still ongoing. There's RevRoom, they've both been members of that. Rev Genius, of course, Leslie is a contributing writer and speaker for Rev Genius, and Jared is the CEO, so I'm sure they've had many interactions. Leslie just took on a new role, Jared just wrapped advisory. So it's looking like the Rev Genius RevRoom angle is the strongest hook because she isn't just someone who once worked with Jared, she's a contributor to the platform that he builds, the community that he builds. So a note from Leslie could reference something like that. Claude is even already asking to help draft the intro request message, but I don't need that. Now I'm gonna go ahead and write my warm intro request, and the bar that I'm holding myself to is simple. It has to work for myself, my connector, and the person that I'm gonna get introduced to. So it needs to work for me, Leslie, and Jared. My connector, Leslie, needs a reason to say yes. The person I'm being introduced to, Jared, needs to feel like there's something in it for them, and I need the meeting, let's be honest. I have to hit quota. So, if I can't answer why does this make sense for everyone in the thread, then I'm not ready to get that intro yet. So because I know Leslie, I know that her and I typically communicate over LinkedIn, so that's what I'm going to do with her. So this message is going to just be short, sweet, to the point. Hope things are going well on your end. Ask, I saw you and Jared, one of the main speakers for Rev. This is my quick message to Leslie. Let's quickly break it down. So, hi Leslie, hope things are going well on your end. I immediately go into my introduction of the ask and I say, quick ask, I saw you and Jared Robin know each other pretty well, casually one of the main speakers for Rev Genius. I'm acknowledging that she works closely with him. I know that they have a good relationship. I'm insinuating that she might want to help him, he might want to help her, and maybe I can be a benefit of that. So I'm working on some content strategy for the Swarm and would love a quick connect with him. Would you be open to a quick intro if you two are still in touch? Very quickly, very short, got to my real ask. And then I offer to help make this easier. Happy to send over a short blurb about what I'm working on if it makes it easier to pass along. No worries at all if the timing isn't right. So it's no pressure, low stakes. I don't want to tell Leslie, oh, give me this intro or else. It's just, if it works out, it works out. And that's how you have to act. Of course, we wish that it always works out, but low pressure tends to come across a lot better. So let's go ahead and let's recap what we just did. We took our target account and then we found every warm path into it through our team's network. We compared the paths and we chose the strongest one. We used Claude to surface the right signals. And then I wrote an intro request that actually respects everyone that's involved. Look, Claude already knows your deals, your calls, your emails. Add the swarm and now it knows your network too. But the judgment on who to contact, which path to choose, how to write something that feels human, that all stays on you, and it should. Setup is 2 minutes. The full prompts library that I used in this workflow is linked in the description, and you can download it, save it, use it every single time that you're prospecting through your network. If this was useful, subscribe. There's a lot more of where this is coming from. See you next time.